Hey guys, so in the previous video we already had a look at the theory of matrix chain multiplication problem, and in this video we will try to understand how to actually code that problem off with the help of memoization technique. So the problem is, given the dimensions of n matrices, we have to determine the minimum number of iterations that needs to be performed in order to compute m1 cross m2 cross m3 cross m4 up to cross mn. Just try to understand the problem better with the help of this test case T1. So the first matrix has a dimension of 2 cross 3, the second matrix has a dimension of 3 cross 3, and the third matrix has a dimension of 3 cross 4. That is, we are given three matrices and we have to determine the minimum number of iterations to find m1 star m2 star m3. So now there are two ways to actually evaluate m1 star m2 star m3. Alright, so the first way is we multiply m1 star m2 first and then we multiply the resultant to m3. Alright, so in this case the total number of iterations will be equals to 42. How? So the number of iterations for multiplying m1 star m2 will be equals to 18 in here, and then if we have a, let's say that the resultant of m1 star m2 is equals to x1, so the number of iterations made when we multiply x1 to m3 will be equals to 24, so their total is equals to 42. And in the same way, the total number of iterations made in the second way, that is, first we multiply m2 to m3 and then we multiply the resultant to m1, so the total number of iterations in this case will be equals to 60. So the answer in this case will be equals to 42. Now let's just get into the coding part. So formally speaking, we actually have to complete this function min iterations over here. So this function over here, it takes in some inputs. So the first input is an integer n that denotes the number of matrices belonging to arrays, that is array R and array C. They actually represent the dimensions of the matrices. Alright, for example, Ri comma Ci, it represents the dimension of the ith matrix, the dimension of ith matrix. So an important constant to note over here is that C of I is equals to R of I plus 1. Alright, for example, in this case C of 0 is equals to R of 1 and C of 1 is equals to R of 2. Alright, so basically this is a very important constant to note, otherwise the matrix multiplication wouldn't have been valid from one of the properties that we discussed in the theory. And based on this constant that we discussed over here, instead of providing you with two different arrays of dimensions, we could have provided you with single array, and you could have actually recreated the dimensions of the two for each and every matrix with the help of that single array. All right, but for the sake of simplicity, we have provided you with two different arrays, that is array R and array C. So we have already discussed it several times before that whenever we are trying to solve a dynamic programming problem with the help of memoization, we divide the problem into two different subproblems, where the first one is defining the states of the DP. So in this case, we are going to define a two-dimensional DP array, that is DP of I comma j. So DP of I comma j will represent the minimum iterations in order to evaluate the expression mi star m of I plus 1 star dot 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 star. This DP of I comma j, it's actually defined for j greater than equals to I. And if you have a look at this definition of the states, the answer, the final answer that we are looking for will be represented by DP of 0 comma n minus 1. That is the minimum number of iterations required to evaluate m of 0 into m of 1 into m of 2 up to m of n minus 1. So since this is 0 based indexing, that's why we are looking for DP of 0 comma n minus 1. In case of 1 based indexing, we would have been looking for the final answer as DP of 1 comma n. Now the second subproblem of solving a dynamic programming problem was laying down a recurrence relation, and in the previous video we had already discussed this recurrence relation thoroughly, so I will just state it over here. So DP of I comma j was equals to the minimum of R of I star C of k star C of j plus DP of I comma k plus DP of k plus 1 comma j. So this was defined for all k between I to j minus 1 inclusive. So this is how we define our recurrence relation in this case. And so these two are the solutions to the first two subproblems of a memoization problem. So let's just try to understand this recurrence relation over here briefly. So in order to do that, have a look at an example of dp of 1 comma 4. So dp of 1 comma 4 means nothing but the minimum number of iterations to multiply m1 star m2 star m3 star m4. So this is what dp of 1 comma 4 over here means. All right, so basically I will try to explain this recurrence relation with the help of this example. If you have a look at this recurrence relation over here, we are iterating for all k between I to j minus 1. All right, so basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to add brackets, that is exactly two pair of brackets in this case. So one way to add brackets will be like this: m1 star m2 star m3 star m4. So this is the first way for adding the bracket, and this is corresponding to k equals to 1. All right, in the same way, the second way to add the bracket for k equals to 2 will be something like this. So this will correspond to k equals to 2, and the last way to add exactly two pair of brackets will correspond to this over here, and this will be corresponding to k equals to 3. Now let's just actually try to understand this problem in context of k equals to 2. So for k equals to 2, this is the expression that we have over here. So let's just try to understand the recurrence relation with the help of this. So if you have a look at this part of the recurrence relation, that is Ri star Ck star Cj, it just represents the number of iterations that will be required to multiply the resultant of matrices m1 star m2 and the resultant of matrix m3 star m4. So let's just say iterations to multiply x1 star x2, where x1 is equals to m1 star m2 and x2 is equals to m3 star m4. All right, and these terms over here, that is dp of I comma k and dp of k plus 1 comma j, we also need to add the number of iterations that are required to solve these brackets individually over here. All right, so the number of iterations to solve the first bracket internally will be equals to dp of 1 comma 2. Number of iterations required to solve the second bracket will be equals to dp of 3 comma 4 internally. All right, so this is actually the logic behind this recurrence relation over here. Now if you want to have a thorough understanding behind this recurrence relation, you might want to watch my video on matrix chain multiplication problem. Now that we have a solution to these two sub problems over here, let's just try to integrate them into a code. All right, so since we are memoizing in this video, we have already discussed that whenever we are trying to memorize a particular solution, we need to have a wrapper function. So let's just define our wrapper function over here first, and let's call it int min iterations wrapper. So basically the task of a wrapper function is to take in the states of the dp as an input and return the computed states of the dp. So in this case, the states of the dp will be int I comma int j, and I'm also going to pass in the dimensions because I would need to read them internally while computing the states. So this is how we actually define the wrapper function over here. We've also discussed that whenever we are trying to code up a wrapper function, the first thing that we need to take care is of the base cases. All right, so basically in this case, our base case is if I is equals to j, I need to return 0. Why? Because if I is equals to j, it just means that we have just one single matrix over here, so we don't really need to multiply it to anything. So in this case, the answer will be equals to 0. Now the next thing that happens in a wrapper function is we check whether this particular state was solved before or not. And in the case, if the state was solved before, we return the states of the dp from a cache. So in order to do that, let's just declare two variables, that is two arrays globally. So for first one is vector of vector int dp, and this will act like a global cache. And the second array over here that we want to declare, it will again be a two-dimensional array, and it will be vector of vector bool, and let's call it VIS, and it would just enable us to check whether a particular state has been solved before or not. So if VIS of I comma j is equals to 1, it will just mean that DP of I comma j was computed before. Alright, so these are the tasks of these two global variables over here. So now let's just initialize them inside our min iterations function over here. So to initialize the DP array, all we need to do is dp.resize n, and then what we need to do is vector int n. So this will give me an array of size n cross n, and for initializing the array VIS, all we need to do is initialize it in the same way and with vector bool n comma 0. So in this case I am going to initialize this would enable me to initialize this entire visited array with 0. So it would just mean that initially none of the states has been solved. Alright, now let's just continue with the wrapper function over here. So in the wrapper function, like we stated, we need to check now whether a particular state was solved before or not. So check if the state I comma j was solved before. So for that, all we need to do is from definition, since we have already defined that if VIS of I comma j is equals to true, it would mean that DP of I comma j was computed before and is now present in the cache. Alright, so in that case, all we need to do is return DP of I comma j. Otherwise, we would compute the value of DP of I comma j. Alright, so let's try to do that. So initially, let's just initialize the value of DP of I comma j with int max over here. So int max is a really large number, that's why I'm actually defining the value of DP of I comma j with int max. Alright, so now coming to the recurrence relation. So our recurrence relation was for k equals to I, k less than equals to j minus 1, k plus plus. All we need to do is we need to update the value of DP of I comma j as minimum of DP of I comma j, the number of, that is R of I star C of k star C of j plus min iteration wrapper I comma k comma R comma C plus min iteration wrapper k plus 1 comma j comma R comma C. So this actually represents our recurrence relation over here, if you notice. So now all we need to do is we need to mark, now that we have computed the value of DP of I comma j, we need to mark this state as solved, that is, it has been solved now over here. Alright, and then all we need to do is we need to return the value of DP of I comma j from over here. Alright, so this completes our wrapper function over here. Now in the min iteration functions, all that we need to do is we need to, so I know that my final answer is given by DP of 0 comma n minus 1. So I am going to call my wrapper function with those states, that is 0 comma n minus 1 comma R comma C, and this should give me the final answer that I'm looking for over here. Alright, so let's just check this, if this code works or not for this test case over here, that is 3. The first array has a dimension of 2, 3, the second array has a dimension of 3 cross 3, and the third array has a dimension of 3 cross 4. So answer for this, as we already have seen, is equals to 42, and let's see if this works or not. So as you can see, our answer is correct, that is, the answer is 42 in this case that we have discussed in the test cases section. So the last thing that we need to do over here is a time and a space complexity analysis. All right, so coming to the time complexity analysis, so the total number of states in this case is O of n square. All right, and the time taken to compute each state on an average is O of n. So that leads to a total time complexity of O of n cube. And coming to the space complexity, in this case, since we have defined a 2-dimensional DP array and a 2-dimensional visited array, the total space complexity is O of n square. So that's all for this video, guys. In the next video, we will be trying to solve this exact same problem with the help of tabulation.